Hi everyone, I am currently in a makeshift hospital for coronavirus patients, and before I share about my experience over here, I would very much like to start by shedding light on my experience since the time I discovered that one of my flatmates got the virus. I don't know how is it like in the rest of the part of the world, but in India, here's how it works. From the moment your report comes positive, everyone is alerted. Your building authority, your ward, municipality, health authorities, specified backliners and ambulance service of your particular area, and even police station. When the news broke that our flatmate got it was already worse, but it got even worse when we were told to not stay in our flat anymore by our building authorities. We were only allowed to enter our compound if the report turned out negative. Now, for those of you who isn't aware of this fact, once you get tested, the report takes 1 to 2 days max to arrive. And in spite of knowing this, they still told us that we were not welcomed in our very own flat for those 2 days. This absolutely made no sense to us on many grounds. If every building and society starts treating this way to the members who have had contact with coronavirus patients, then where will they go at a time like this? Are we supposed to lie to our friends and stay at theirs, or book a hotel room and make that unnecessary expense while not having earned a single penny in past couple of months due to the lockdown? And mind you guys, these are the same people who, even after the Maharashtra government announced that you cannot force a tenants for rent for at least another 3 months, are still calling us every month for the rent, and we're still paying it without any excuse. We we agreed to pay our rent with no delay, and we paid it not to eventually be thrown from our very own home at a time like this. And where will we go once our compulsory home quarantine starts after we are discharged from this hospital? Anyway guys, one of our friends was kind enough to let us stay at his empty apartment with full precautions until the report came out. We knew that we could be putting more lives at risk, but it was our desperate time and desperate need and our desperate act. We had to come up with something to get a shelter for a night or two, and we did what we could. We were immediately then shifted to this quarantine facility for isolation after the report came out positive, and our friend's place is fully sanitized by now, just in case you guys are wondering. In my first video about coronavirus, I mentioned how past 48 hours hasn't been easy, and this was what I meant. Along with the health status of our flatmate who was already admitted, and along with our health status with coronavirus in a waiting report, we were unnecessarily given pressure to not occupy our flat and figure out a new place to stay. I know that it's a time where everyone is scared for themselves, and one will go to any extreme to save themselves first from the virus because it's a natural instinct, and I cannot blame on that. I also know that this virus is deadly and social stigma is attached to it by now. I've heard of cases where doctors and nurses and people working in the hospital and families who have had contact with the virus were not welcomed by their neighbors. But what I don't understand is, if people start behaving this way to a virus that's been declared pandemic, where will millions of people who have had contact by now go to? Will the authorities then ask us to leave the planet Earth and maybe fly to, I don't know, Mars or maybe to the moon instead? This is not just illegal, it's unethical, inhuman, and beyond my understanding of humanity and your bunch of rules and regulations on dealing with coronavirus. We all are the same, but I don't think that we are treated the same in this pandemic. While people around the world are coming to the social media and streets saying all lives matter, it could also be the same people who are forcing the family members, doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff out of their own houses and community because of coronavirus. To be honest, I'm actually lost of words, and I don't know how to put it. But I think this is where I say humanity has failed. For all I know, tomorrow it could be those who are discriminating today getting the virus, and I can't wait to see how they decide to get out of this planet Earth and see which planet will they choose to stay, because the aliens out there aren't going to be merciful either. Anyway, I think that this world needs more positivity and appreciation for everything that's happening around us, especially at a time like this. Um, and all I know is this virus is 100% real, and it doesn't see rich or poor or someone in power or not. So everyone, just be humble and be kind to one another. Yeah, that's it.